Well, the government has just won that parliamentary test on its internal market bill. Let's go straight to Beth Rigby, and all eyes really on how many Tory rebels there were this time, Beth.
Yes, Anna, the votes are just coming in now. You can see MPs in the chamber there, and it looks like the government have a majority of 314 votes versus 263 there. You can see it. Well, we know Boris Johnson has an majority in the House of 80, so it looks there like there have been some abstentions from his own benches, and we should get a breakdown of how MPs have voted pretty soon. But look, the big picture here is this was not the night, as I was saying earlier, where we expected the government to lose this vote. It was expected to pass, but what we are going to see now is the building of a rebellion on the Conservative backbenchers in the Commons and also in the Lords. And what MPs will be looking at now, between now and votes next Tuesday, on key amendments, is whether or not the government give some ground and make some concession to placate those Conservative MPs very, very concerned about the government's decision to try and break international law and override elements of that withdrawal agreement that they signed off. In fact, Boris Johnson said it was a great deal last October. So let's see what happens between then and now. But what we're clearly seeing here is that despite Boris Johnson having a big majority in the Commons, he's burning through some of his political capital in order to try and be hardline on Brexit, to try and unpick some of the elements of that oven-ready deal he signed last October. But one thought I leave you with is this, that as these negotiations continue, the government is still in trade talks with the EU to try and secure that trade deal by December the 31st. So while Boris Johnson has created all attention on what's happening in the Commons and these quite vicious rows over Brexit and him champion in the union, as he puts it, back in Brussels, the two sides are still talking. And could it be that he actually secures a trade deal long before this legislation is enacted? And this might be some political theatre to make him appear that he's being very tough with the EU, and actually he's paving the way to try and secure that trade deal. So we'll have to see how it plays out. We don't know what's in his mind, but let's just remember that the substantive issue of the trade talks, despite all the noise around unpicking the deal of last year, those talks still continue.
Beth, thank you very much indeed. Keep a close eye, obviously, in the days ahead. Thank you.